Warm greetings. Welcome for online video session. This is Module 3 Software Engineering. Myself Jagdish, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Canara Engineering College, Pantua. And in this online video session, we'll see implementation issues. Before that, in this chapter, in the design and implementation, we have seen software design implementation in the software engineering process, where we have used where software requirement engineer team will give a brief description as well as the model for the next team, that is implementation team. So implementation team start developing the coding. So in this chapter we have seen object oriented design using the UML. So the same concept what we have studied in the second module. Here we have seen the several things of object oriented design, that is understanding and defining the context diagram, designing the system architecture, identifying the principal objects in the system. Identifying the principal object in the sense, depending upon the project, what are the objects has to be identified. Like if you say, take an example as a car, so what are the object it is required, it's been identified in the object oriented design using the UML. So then next, developing the design model based on the object and specifying the interfaces. So these are the 5 stages or 5 things that we have seen in the object oriented design using the UML. Then we have seen the context diagram of the weather station as well as the weather station use cases. Then we have seen the architectural design of the weather station. So here we have seen the number of subcomponents where all are connected to the communication link, and one architecture design of the data collection, where there also we have seen number of subcomponents like transmitter, receiver, weather station. And there are several proposed methods are used how to identify the objects in the object oriented system. So we have seen 3 points in the grammatical analysis of a natural language description of the system. So grammatical, it may be an English statement or some other languages where a software engineer can be able to understand based on the requirement of the customer. Identifying the attributes, identifying the methods, functions, etc. And using a tangible things in the application, giving a correct appropriated name for an object is very important. So that is what the second point says. And scenario based analysis, so something like identifying and analyzed in the requirement of an object for the system. So these are the 3 points are used to identify the object classes in the object oriented system. So obviously we have seen the object classes in this also weather station, where it has 3 fields. The first field is identified by the class name, second field is identified by the attributes, and third field is identified by the functions. So this is what we have seen in the object oriented using UML. And next we have saw the design models. In the design models we have seen how the object classes are designed in the association along with the inheritance, along with the generalization, how it is being implemented. Along with, we have seen the sequence diagram, how the sequence diagram interacts with the objects in respect to the time. Then next we have saw about the weather station as state activity diagram, and I told it's an important diagram in the examination point of view. As well as we have saw the interface specification. In the interface specification, it was same as it is the diagram indicates the as a class diagram, but in the attribute field it is empty. So other than that, remaining things are all case as so common, where we declare objects in the where we declare the class name same as it is for the interface specification also, as well as we include their functions, how to interact with the other objects in the system. Then we see the design patterns. In the design pattern, I have said beginning itself, the gang of 4 is important to identify the design patterns. That is the name, the correct name has to be given. That is a meaningful reference to the system or meaningful reference to the pattern. And the second, it is a description of the problem area that has to be explained with the pattern when the pattern is applied. And the third point is a solution description of the design solution, and their relationships and their responsibilities and design description. And some of them in the example they use templates where all the field will be entered, and the software engineering that is a design who identify the design patterns has to keep on entering the templates. And the fourth point is a state of the consequence, the result, as well as how the this object is applied in the pattern is been identified in the design patterns. And next we come across to the implementation issues. So in the implementation issues is nothing has been done here. It is directly they starts programming the system or an software or an application according to the design models or object oriented model by the previous team. In here we may use a different programming languages depending upon the customer requirement, and maybe they may use object oriented or procedure oriented, whichever flexible by the customer depending upon the cost, etc. And it is focuses not on a programming, although this is a important, but on other implementation issues that are often covered in programming of the other textbooks, or in this it is not covered in this programming in this textbook. They are mainly focused on the that is implementation, not the programming which type of programming, etc. all those things. For that we have to go for the advanced software engineering subject. So next here we have three types of software engineering implementation issues: reuse, configuration management, host target development. Okay, and in this especially in the implementation issue, the critical stage of this process is of course system implementation. So where you have to create an executable version of the software. So here we have to main concept is executable version of the software. Implementation may something involves developing a programming high or low level programming languages, maybe something like a low level languages like a C, C++, or something high level languages with something like Python or MATLAB or even PHP, etc. like that. Okay. And as some of the programming implementation issue, they may make use of the according to the client that is which is ready software is designed with little slight changes in the application is sufficient. So as far as the requirement of an organization. Okay. And here we have implementation issue of three types: reuse, configuration management, host target development. In the reuse, most modern software is constructed by reusing. The name itself says reusing. So instead of developing the new coding or new implementation issues, we make use of the existing components of the system. Existing component of a system is which is already developed. Project is there or application is there, making use of the some components. We are not taking you as a whole, of the system, we are making use of only small components which is related to the application. When you are developing a software, you should make as much as possible of the existing code. As possible as burden should be taken less by the software engineering. So we should make use of the existing code which is there in the repository. So that is what we use. Most modern software is constructed by reusing existing, make a note this, reusing existing components. So existing component of a system. When you are developing a software, you should make as much use as possible of existing code. So we should make use of existing code of the software. So where the there is involvement of a software or engineers will be less, because they make use of existing components. So whenever you develop a software, you require a lot of components as well as sub components also, right? So making use of that sub components will reduces the human effort, as well as it reduces the cost of the application development. So configuration management, during the development process, you have to track of many different version of the each software components in a configuration management system. So you have developed you want to develop an application, think that, and where there you have you make use of this component which is matches the as per as client requirement. So but the version of the software previous version is not suited to the configuration of the system of the client. So you should think about that also. So configuration is also, because previous version, see for example, you can see that the Windows 7 system or Windows XP, it may not suited to the current system configuration because the hardware won't support it. So even though like the same way, some of the whenever the software engineering start developing the requirement as per the requirement of the customer, some of the components may not suit to the host that is client system. So you should be very careful while developing the or making use of the sub components or a component of the system. Okay, next, host target development. So host target development, production software does not usually execute on the same computer as a software development environment. So you may developing a system, that is software on your system, and I think some of them have come across. So you may ask your 7th semester students or passed out students, some of the software or application what they developed in their system, when they try to implement it in our college system, it won't work. That's what they says, that as a software development environment, because some of the hardware it may not support by the host system. So you should should be very clear with the host system as well as the host the system or software what developed by the software engineering. So rather you develop it on one computer and execute it on the separate computer, the target system. Okay, the target system, it won't work. So in the host system, there is a development where the software engineers develop the system. In that it may work, but it won't execute it in the other system. So you should also make a special care should be taken in this issue also. So these are the three implementation issues are included in the software engineering. So reuse, from 1960 to the 1990s, most new software was developed from the scratch. Obviously, from the scratch it was developed by writing all codes in high-level programming languages. So the only significant reuse or a software was the reuse of the functions and the objects in the programming language library. So only significant reuse of the software was the reuse of the functions and objects in programming language libraries. Cost and schedule pressure mean that this approach become a increasingly unviable, especially for commercial and internet-based system. An approach to the development based around the reuse of the existing software emerged and now is generally used for the business and scientific software. So usually the reuse beginning itself they was start developing the code in high level languages that too from the scratch. Now due to the cost as well as pressure they are making use of the software which is already existing, reusing the codes. So it's not entirely, at least some part of the functions, some of the part of the library functions, etc. That such type of risk coding can be make use of the by the software engineering. So we have software reuse is possible at different or number of levels. Okay, so very important question also here also. First one is abstraction level, second one is object level, third one is component level, fourth one is system level. First one is abstraction level, second one is object level, third one is component level, and fourth one is system level. In the abstraction level, you do not reuse the software directly but use the knowledge of successful abstraction in the design of your software. So design patterns, architecture patterns are represented in the abstract knowledge for reuse. Is the initial stages where you're making use of the reuse of the software in the abstraction level itself. So you do not reuse the software directly but uses the knowledge of abstraction. Some of the part of the components may make use of the to design a software. Object level, at this level you directly reuse the objects. So objects whatever you use, for example there is inheritances, some such type of inheritances or aggregations or generalization, such type of objects you make use of from the library rather than writing separately once again by yourself. So third component level is component level. Components are collection of objects and object classes. So whereas there we are making use of only the objects in the object level. Here entire component as a rectangular box what you saw in the previous weather station diagram, we are making use of the entire component as a whole component. Instead of, for example, if you want to develop a software where you make use of 10 components, so in that you may make you reuse of 2 to 3 component from the previous version or previous software or previous application. System level, here you are making use of entire application. For example, our Canara Engineering College wants to develop a ERP for the some other college like Sayadri or St. Joseph. So where ERP means entirely the same as what are the things, there is data we have, the same data will be required for the college also. Instead of developing once again in some other language, we can make use of the same ERP for the Joseph College or maybe Sayed College, like that. Okay, we are making use of entire application. We are making use of entire system without any changes. Changes in the sense only the requirement field should be changes like college name or maybe the professors or maybe the faculties or maybe the staff. What are the except that there is a requirement field is required, that we can make it changes and you can deliver the product to the customer. So this is what the system level. So we have a number of different levels in the software reuse. One is abstraction level, second one is a object level, and third one is a component level, and fourth one is a system level. So reuse cost. The cost of the time spent in looking for software to reuse and assessing whether or not it meets your needs. The cost of time spent, sometimes you have to, even if you are spending a time, whether the code is reusable for the application, current application or not, whether even if it is reused, then you have to access that code, so whether it meets requirement or not. So for that also the cost you have to pay for that also, right? Where applicable, the cost of buying the reusable software for large off-the-shelf system, this cost can be very high. The cost of adapting and configuring the reused software components or a system to reflect the requirement of the system that you are developing. So, cost of integrating reusable software elements with each other and with new code that you have to develop. Even making use of the reuse, the cost one doesn't reduces the, but instead of spending for example, if you want to spend for an application lakh 1 lakh for reusable, then if you want to develop a product, it may cost for 2 lakhs. So it reduces a small amount, not the very big amount. So because we have to pay for the person who spend the time for looking for the software, making it reusable, whether it is suitable for the current application, because he has wasted his time, as well as he wasted his time for changing the requirement, as well as requirement, customer requirement, making use of the components and changing the component and integrating the reusable software elements with each other and developing a new code for the application, that is a client. That also because a lot of things are being involved in making a application, so for that also the cost has to be paid, but not much as developed new, at least something compared to the newly developed software. Part of the amount has to be spent because they have spent a lot of time, and they have to pay for the customer, for the staff who spend a lot of time by configuring or integrating the reusable software, etc. So this is what about the reusable software. So next, second part is a configuration management. Configuration management is a name given to the general process of managing a changing software system. Managing a changing software. Here you are changing the existing software as well as customer requirement. That's our main concept of configuration management. The aim of the configuration management is to support the system integration process so that all developers can access the project code and documents in controlled way, find out what changes have been made, and compile and link components to create a system. So configuration management doesn't work in all the cases, because some of the component, that is hardware, won't support the changes whatever done by the previous system, it won't fit to the current system also. And even the configuration has to be is a process, integration process, where developer can access the project code and document in a controlled way. So something that is finding out what changes have to be made. So finding out what changes has to be made is also a big that is issue, because he has to spend a lot of time, and the compiling as well as linking the components one to one components, and integration of the sub components, etc., to create a whole system. So this is what there in the configuration management. And you have, that is the configuration management is a name itself given a general process of managing the changing software. Okay, here we are not developing the entire thing, we have to manage. Even for managing also, you have to pay the money for that also, changing the software. The main aim of the configuration management is to support the integration process and find out what changes have to be made, and compile and link the components to create the whole system, and creating a new version, up to date version of the software component. Otherwise a developer may have to redo the work that has to be already been done once again. When something is gone wrong with the new version of the system, they have to be able to go back to the there is a working version of the previous of the system and component, so where he has gone wrong in the current system. So there also a lot of work has been involved in the configuration management also. And we have three fundamental configuration management activities. Or we'll see what are that. One is version management, and second one is a system integration, and third one is a problem tracking. So one is a version management, and second one is a system integration, and third one is a problem tracking. So in the version management, where support is provided to keep track of different version of the software components. Version management system include facilitates to coordinate development by several programmers. So version management is supports to keep track of the different version of the software components. So you may develop a number that is version 1, version 2, like version 3, and you have to keep track of different version, because what changes has to be done for the next version, or what changes has to be do for the that is what are the components have been taken from the previous version to develop the next version, that has to keep tracker. Otherwise something like how I say in a classroom, if there are 60 students, so in the 60 student we have to keep track of overall scored that is FCD, overall scored FC, overall scored second class, something like we have to keep track. So how we can improve them to all the students who got FC or SC, how that is second class as a first class, how we can improve them to go for the FCD in the next semester, that we have to keep track. Something like that. So the version, new version, whatever they developed, they have to keep track in the that is database. So whatever the changes is required by the as per client in the next version, if he asked, so the software engineer has to keep track all the version of the software components for the next development of the software. And version management system includes the to coordinate the development by several programmers overall involved in the development of a system or subsystem, has to keep track. And then they have to stop developer overwriting the code that has been submitted by the system by someone else. So for something like you have developed a code for the client A, and you should not make use of the same code to the client B. That has to be also to keep tracking in the version management. And second configuration management activities involved is system integration, where you support it provide to help developers to define what version of the components are used to create each version of the system. So this description is used to build a system automatically by compiling and linking the required components. It supports that developers to define what version of the components are used. So something like so you cannot integrate the for the you should know the motherboard that is system. You cannot to the motherboard you cannot or for any of the processor you cannot include any of the that is the RAM or you cannot increase the RAM size, because that particular version has to be known for the integration of the system. Otherwise it will be get crashed and you may fed up or you may go wrong. The system won't boot at all. So that type of that is instruction or that type of data has to be keep tracked in the configuration management activities. So this description is the used to build a system automatically and by compiling and linking the required components. Problem tracking, where support is provided to allow the user to report the bugs and other problems and allow the all developers to see who is working on this problem and when they are fixed. So problem tracking also, whenever the configuration is taking places, the overall users are involved in configuring the system, and to at the same time whenever they are configuring the system, if they have found any bugs in the configuration of the components or subcomponents or compiling it, they have to report that errors and problems also. So it allows all the developer to see who is working on these problems and when they are fixed. So whenever errors or problems are been identified by the problem tracking system team, they have so they make a chart. So overall working in these problems can be identified, and whether they fixed the problem. So even when you deliver a component to the, whenever you deliver a system to the customer, so when he faced a problem, so if the developer come to know which components have got problem and who has been that is clear the error in the, or clear the bugs in that component. So if they found any bug, so they can call the person who have clear the bugs in that component, because the person who are not involved in that component cannot be called to clear the error. So the person who have involved, so he come to know where is going on problem in the system, so he can come and clear the error. So that has to be keep on track in the database also. So before delivering the components to the, or before delivering the system to the client. So this is about what about the configuration management. So next we'll see about the host targeted development. So most software development is based on the host target model. So whatever the model, the software you have been developed, once it has been developed, then you have to deploy it to the targeted system. So software is developed on one computer. That is, for example, if you are a software engineering, you have been developed the software that is in your system, and but it runs on the separate machine. That is the targeted machine. That is nothing but the client machine. More generally, we can talk about the development platform and execution platform. So development platform is nothing but the host platform or host computer, and execution platform is nothing but the machine or the target machine. So a platform is more than just a hardware. Obviously, we call it as a hardware itself. It includes the installation of the operating system plus supporting software such as database management, or even maybe drives, or even maybe there are some other applications, etc. for development platform on an interactive development environment. Development platform usually has a different installed software than execution platform. So development, whenever you start developing a software, you have a different platform, which is because you are not developing only one application, you are developing a lot of application, because it has to, all the application it has to be support. So you have something like a high-end system. Whereas you delivering a product to the customer, he may not, because he wants to run only that one the application which is was to be run according to that specification. The hardware specification has been installed in his system. So whenever you deploy any of the software to the client system, it won't may work. So that has to be taken care. This platform may have a different architecture, right? So because you have a different hardware system as well as components, etc. So next it is a development platform tool. And the development platform tool, it is an integrated compiler and direct editing system that allow you to create and edit and compile a code. Next is a language debugging system and graphical editing tools such as tool to edit the UML tool, and testing tools such as Janet that can automatically run the set of tests on new version of the program, and project support tools that help you to organize the code for different development projects. So these are the software development platform that should be included, or tools that support the software engineering process. One is integrated compiler and syntax direct editing. So you may develop a system or a application. So according to this is something like a template. Whether you have a correct syntax or a integrated compiler, whether you have integrated the compiler correctly, that can be seen in the that is integrated compiler as well as syntax editing, direct editing. And a language debugging system. So whichever the language you have developed the tool to debug the errors, or to whether you run when you run, whether you are executing correct program or not, that is application or not, we can be seen in this debugging system. and graphical editing tools, that is whatever the model you have developed, supporting. For example, we have a UML model, that is UML models, as well as we have in IIT Kharagpur has designed a virtual lab tool. No, such type of tool is been installed in the host system to check or to do any changes in the UML model. And testing tool has also been there in the platform tool, development platform tool. These are the tools that all make use of by the software engineer to support before delivering a product to the customer. And project support tool that helps you to organize a code for different development projects. So this type of tools makes the software engineers to work on a new project easily as well as fastly. Okay, these are the that is they've been used. And software development tools are often grouped to create an IDE, that is integrated development environment. Is a set of software tool that supports aspects of software development, something like within a framework, and we're making use of interfaces. And yeah, this is what actually that is been included in the software development platform. And next we go for the open source development in this. Before that also there is one more concept in that is of course IDE. Software development tools are often created to integrate a development environment. And IDE, that is integrated development tool, development environment, is a set of software tools that supports the aspects of software development. IDE are created to support the development in a programming language such as Java. Languages IDE may be developed especially or maybe in instantiation of general purposes. And component system deployment factor. If a component is designed for a specific hardware architecture or lies on some other software system, it must be deployed on a platform that provides the required hardware and software. You have developed some components or some there is a application to the specific hardware, and whenever you deploy that application on the system, that is hardware as well as hardware has to support that particular application. High availability system may require components to be deployed on more than one platform. This means that in the event of platform failure, an alternate implementation of the component is available. If there is a high level of communication between the components, it usually makes sense to deploy them on the same platform or on platforms that are physically close to the one another. This reduces the delay between the time a message is sent to one components and received by another. These are all something the various components are involved in developing a application, and while deploying, one component may failure, so other component will making use of that the other component has to support the system, even though the component which is which is failure, without any disruption, the component has to be support for the application. So this is what we have. This is what implementation issue we have studied in the implementation issue. What is the actual implementation issue, and what are the there is a program, there is different implementation issues are reuse, configuration management, and host targeted development. In the reuse, we have there is different levels. One is abstraction level, object level, component level, and system level. And there is the making use of reuse. The cost is associated with the reuse. The cost time spent in reuse as well as is lesser than making use of developing a component once again. And configuration management, there is many people are been involved in configuration management, and therefore we have the three different configuration management: version management, system integration, as well as problem tracking. And the last one list is host targeted development. In the host targeted development, we have a host system as well as targeted system, where the system developed in the host system what we fit onto the targeted system. So we should take care of that also while developing a application. So by this I'll stop the this session. So next session we will go for the open source software. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the online session.